Hello everybody, Raven Knight here, and welcome to another How to Build video. This is the series where I take you through all of my created characters, or characters from the campaign, or what have you, and teach you how I build these characters, basically. What armor sets you want to use, what weapon sets, what effects, what emotes, what executions, that kind of thing. And after much request, I've had a lot of people request this, people are asking me to talk about Deborah, my original Blackbriar character. Now, I talked about my previous Blackbriar character, my Angel Prior, but now we're going to talk about my story Prior, Deborah. And if you haven't heard her Legends video, go check it out. I really enjoyed writing it, and a lot of people said they liked it, so I'm looking forward to talking about this one here. I was hesitant to do it, though, because I've had many people come to me to say, gosh, Raven, you're just making another edgy, dark Prior look. It looks really cringe. And if you're one of those people, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'm just going to laugh at you. For those of you who actually want to see how I built her and understand what process went into this, follow along with me. We'll go over everything. I really look forward to looking at Deborah with you guys, since she is one of my favorites. So let's go. First of all, when you're looking at the overall outfit, it's going to be real easy. You're going to want Erzsebet's Valor helm, Erzsebet's Valor chest, and Erzsebet's Valor arms. Really, if you have the Erzsebet's Valor set, you're good to go on that front. I don't think you could ask for a better set here. Honestly, there's only one other set that comes close to what you're going to want to look for, and that would be the Naretis helm, but I don't have that one yet, so I'm sticking with the Erzsebet's Valor. And honestly, it looks fine for what it is. So Erzsebet's Valor, that's what you want to get. And the reason I like this one is because it has the helm and the cloak. Don't get me wrong, the other option, which is more like the Chimera Senator helm, or the, what was it, if we go all the way down to the bottom? Yeah, there it is, the Cameo's Legacy helm. That looks fine, it really does. I don't have a problem with that look. But when I do this one, I like the helm covering it, like she has something to hide, like there's something that she's ashamed of, or doesn't want to show her face for some reason, and I think that fits a lot better for the story I was creating. But if we move on past that to the weapons, this one's going to be a little bit more complicated. We want the Draconian Bones Blade, Draconian's Bone Blade, the Nether Malice hilt, and the fabled Elegium shield, or Elegirium shield. I'm sure I said that wrong. But again, Draconian Bones Blade, Nether Malice hilt, fabled Algerium shield. Those are what you want to get in order to create the shield and sword combination. Now, I like the shield combination here because the shield here is the dragon and queen kind of look. We got that in the first season of year 6, I believe. Very cool looking shield, very solid, very fantasy-esque, but I like the duality of it. You know, the dragon, kind of the symbol of power and strength and energy, and then you've got the queen, who's the symbol of elegance, regalness, majesty, stuff like that. I like that duality here. I like the way that's done. Looks really neat. And so I thought that would be a good idea for the shield, kind of doing this duality with Deborah again. And then, for the weapons again, like I said, you want this kind of really awesome looking blade that looks very vicious, but I also like the hilt here with the wings to make it look a little bit more angelic, even though it says Nether Malice. I thought that would be a good contradiction again, this good duality. So again, you want the Erzsebet's Valor helm, chest, and arms, and for weapons, the Draconian Bones Blade, Nether Malice hilt, fabled Algerium shield. All right, that's what you need to make the basics for Deborah. Now, let's move on to the rest. For your traits, alternate 2, because Deborah's a girl, but if you want to make it a guy, this is how it would look as a guy. Still looks pretty awesome, but Deborah's a girl, so if you want to make a male version of Deborah, you go right ahead, but this is how we made Deborah. Skin tone isn't going to matter. You're not going to be able to see any of this skin anyway, but I just keep it in the default, so that's pretty easy to do. For ornaments, you want the Cave Crawler ornament, which you get with the Solaris Mythic outfit. So you're going to want the Cave Crawler. If you don't want to get the Cave Crawler outfit, another alternative is the Menacing Lion, which you get with the Tower of the Lee's Elite outfit. So those are the two that you really want to get, either the Menacing Lion or the Cave Crawler. So either one of those would work great. If you want the more spiky, edgy look, Cave Crawler is the way to go. All right, now, here's how to build the rest of her. For the chest, I use the Barren Leaf paint pattern, which you get at Reputation 27, level 10. So get your Blackbriar up past Reputation 27, level 10, and you'll be able to get this one. I like this one because the gray and the black fade very well together with this style, and you'll see what I mean as we go further in. For symbol, we want the Crown and Laurel, which you get at Reputation 29, level 15. It looks regal, it looks majestic, it looks imposing, so I thought that would be a good work. No need for embossing. For the left arm, this is tricky because the left arm affects the shield, and I don't want to destroy too much of the shield. So here's what I did. I used the Prior's Curse 2, which you get from the Black Prior's Riposte bundle. If you do not have this, then honestly, it's best to just go with nothing because it still gives that really good texture. It still looks really nice. In fact, it's a very beautiful look. I like this one because it creates what I felt like was almost a stained glass background kind of look. So I thought it would look more like this is not just a cool looking shield, but something you might see on the side of a church, you know, a stained glass kind of look. That's why I did that. But if you don't want to use that paint pattern, it's best to just go no paint pattern. No symbol, no embossing. But if you want to do a paint pattern, Black Prior's Curse 2 is the way to go. For the right arm, I use the left wing paint pattern, which you get on an outfit at Reputation 26. And I use the Iron Compass symbol. Now, you might think, Raven, is she like a servant of chaos to use the Iron Compass like that, since that looks a lot like the symbol of Chaos Undivided? No, honestly, at the time that I was designing her, I had no idea what the symbol for Chaos Undivided looked like. I thought it looked good because it was close to a cross symbol, which I wanted her to have. So I went with the Iron Compass look. For her back, we have the Flash Visor, which comes with the outfit at Reputation 26 again. So you definitely want to get past Reputation 26, guys. That's the big moral here. So Flash Visor is the paint pattern, and the symbol is the winged compass, going back to that cross with the wings kind of look. The way I look at Deborah was she was a nun, right? Her story was that she was a nun, an abbess. She was this woman who was very pious to God, very pious to divinity. But then we have a situation where her church was burned down and destroyed by heretics and heathens, and she was saved by Vortigern, which is why she feels she owes something to the Black Priors. So she becomes a prior to bring dark justice. She becomes a prior so that she can bring the message of salvation, but also of justice, because she believes that it's important to save lives, but sometimes you have to kill in order to save. You know, that's something that she believes. So I thought that she still sees herself as a pious warrior of God, but she's now bringing it in a darker context. For the legs, we use the Hyper Chevrons, which has gotten an outfit at Reputation 6, so it's a little bit earlier to get this one. And you once again use the Iron Compass, so pretty easy to get that one. So that's what you want to do to make her look the right way. Now, for material, I use black iron, but you can use tar if you want to. I prefer black iron because the problem with tar in this case is it looks a little bit too strong, a little bit too thick. And I like it to be more of a refined look, like more of a toned down look for Deborah. And again, people are going to say, oh, you're just trying to go the edgy prior look. And that's fine if you think that. It's okay. I don't hold anything against you. This was just what I wanted to do for Deborah. I wanted to make a dark character, so the dark look works for Deborah. Now for the colors, the part you've all been waiting for. What color do I use? You can probably guess from looking, but I use War, which is gotten from Death by Metal Week 1. If you played the Death by Metal event, you should have gotten this color palette. If you don't have it, then there are a few options you could also go with. You can go with Wings of Glory, which is gotten for the Ardent Aquila anime outfit. You can go with Virtual Reality, which you got for the Creed event. And there's one more you can go with. No, that's not it. Hold on, where'd it go? It used to be down here. Here it is. You can go with the Daylights event, which was the Dead by Daylight event. Now you might say, Raven, I haven't played any of the event modes. What if I don't have any of that stuff? Well, the other option I would offer to you, therefore, Wars. Some people are saying Apollyon. I wouldn't go with Apollyon. It just makes everything look solid black and doesn't let anything stand out, so I wouldn't go with that. You could go with Bleeding, which has gotten at level 18. Not even a Reputation, level 18, which will work fine. I don't think it works as well, but honestly, if you don't have anything else, go with Bleeding. War is the best one you could go with here. All right, so now that you know how all that looks, how she's supposed to look and appear, if you got all that down, you know how to make her look like Deborah. Now, how do we make the abilities? The feats are going to be pretty easy. You're going to want to go with all the primary feats of the Black Prior. Sinister Shield, which grants a shield to an ally. Healing Ward, which heals you while you're in the Bulwark stance. Oathbreaker, which allows you to take away shields, and Umbral Shelter, which gives a temporary shield that constantly refreshes around you for a set period of time. The reason I wanted to do the Sinister Shield and the Umbral Shelter is because, again, Deborah feels like she's protecting people by killing others. Like, she's like, if I kill the evildoers and the wicked, I can protect the innocent. So she's still a protector at the end of the day. She has that about her. Healing Ward is a good perk all around, but I also wanted to give it to her because, you know, she is trying to rebuild herself. Remember, she got severely hurt and injured from what the heathens did to her. So now she is healing herself and building herself back up. And Oathbreaker, honestly, just because why wouldn't I run that perk? The only other perk I could see giving her here would be Tough as Nails, which gives her extra health. But honestly, Oathbreaker is just so good in Dominion, why wouldn't you run it, right? All right, now, let's move on to executions. Executions, I use Mala Ultra Adsunt because I feel like this execution fits her. Kind of, don't look at me as I kill you, look to the heavens. That's what I see. Like, they're leaning back on the shield, like, look at the sky and look up to heaven, like, see where you're headed. You know, like you're going to Judgment's gates. So I like that. Slowly but Surely is a very powerful and devastating execution, showing off a lot of bloodlust and bloodshed in her eyes, which I really like. I did add the effect there, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I do want to explain why I gave her that. But I really like this because she's looking into the eye of the one that she's killing, like basically letting them see their damnation. Up to the Hilt, honestly, this one's pretty solid because I like the idea of her flipping her over and then doing a finish off. I see that as being a little disrespectful to them, but also finishing them off quickly. And then Mala Unde Beklades, which just feels right for her. Like, kind of this backhanded strike that just kind of like, I'm done dealing with you. Something that she just wants to move on from. The way she sees it, she has too much work not to waste too much time. So she wants to make sure that she's constantly on the move. The other option I would say is Revenant Slayer if you want to go for something a little bit more holy, but you don't have to go with that one. I just like that one. Now for emotes, I use Formal Salute for her combat and At the Ready, all of which are honorable, respectful, but also empowering. So I thought that would be good. And then for free roam, I use Desperate Cry as if she's crying out to God. And then Reverence, which is once again showing respect and fealty. She is still a woman of the cloth, so that is important to keep in mind. For signature, I use, I use With Devotion, because it shows her honor to God and honor to her opponents. And you might notice that I use that as well with the angel one, but that's partially because I think that this just works so well for what I see in Deborah. Again, a woman of the cloth, a woman who has respect for herself, respect for others, and respect for God, but also a duty to do what she needs to do. And then for effects, okay, so for idol, I use Vortigern's Dark Oath because it looks like, you know, like there's a darkness to her, there's an edginess to her, which I like. For executions, the only one you want to use is Super Flaming Rage, and that is for the Slowly But Surely execution. And the reason why is not quite because it fits her character, but because I just think it's a really funny emote to use with this execution. Because if you look at it from the opponent's perspective, it looks like an anime character just losing their mind on this guy, which it's hard to pass that up. I just think that looks really funny. I know it doesn't exactly fit her personality. If you wanted it to fit her personality, you just take it away entirely, but I feel like this is just too good not to add, right? I just feel like that's too good. And that about sums it up. That's all there is to Deborah. I explained how to make her, what goes into her, how I basically built her up. Deborah's story was a dark one of the darker stories that I wrote in my Legends video series. And don't worry, I'm going to continue my Legend videos once I have the time. I have a few ideas that I want to write down and tell you guys. The problem is my Legends videos were never super popular to begin with, so I took a break from them to work on other projects, but I will work on them again. Let me know, would you guys be making Deborah? Would you guys like to try to make Deborah on your own build? How will you do it? Do you like Deborah's story? Have you heard Deborah's story yet? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always, guys, I will see you in my next video. Take care.